Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 19 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. I think this is going to be the last episode with this Evil Toll Groudon team that I've been using. It's been pretty fun for sure, and I put a couple of episodes with it, but definitely want to feature some new things, especially because it is still early Moon Series. So I already had a couple of ideas and have been getting stuff in game, but if you have suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments below for what you'd like to see. I think there were a lot of cool teams that came out from Dallas Regionals as well, so definitely. And we're going to go up against Naruto with a rating of 1812. It's definitely the highest rating I've seen on the ladder. Running a team that actually has been kind of common. It did win like a major online tournament going before Dallas Regionals. No one I don't think really used this to great success at Dallas Regionals, but yeah, super strong team featuring a lot of cool stuff. So as always, if you guys enjoy Road to Ranked, please share support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. The original version of this team has like Sash Lele, Scarf Kyogre, Citrus, Necrozma, Waterium Z, Ludicolo. So I haven't really played against this matchup too much. I think definitely want the Evil Toll. The tricky thing with Kyogre teams in best of one is figuring out what to lead. The other thing is all my Pokemon are actually pretty solid in this matchup. So I hate playing against matchups like this in a best of one where you don't really know your opponent's playstyle. Evil Toll, and I don't like Incin too much here because of the Lele. Evil Toll Venusaur is actually kind of interesting because I could pivot out right into Groudon. Seems like it's such a weird lead, but I feel like maybe it could actually work here. I guess that just kind of gets ruined by the Lele. But you know what? Let's try it out. And I'll go with Coco as the last one. Yeah, so the downside of leading Groudon in this kind of matchup is if your opponent doesn't lead the Kyogre and like Ludicolo is led, then you can just switch out into Kyogre turn 1 and Groudon's forced to switch out more or less. But a lot of times, obviously, people expect that, so they end up leading with the rain anyway. I mean, I could have just went like Groudon Venusaur here. But it's going to be Incin Lele. Okay, that's actually not too bad, I think. Yeah. Makes this pretty interesting. You can't fake out the Venusaur, which actually works in my advantage. I could just get a Sleep Powder off immediately. Question is whether I want to risk Sleep Powdering. Okay. Let's see. Also, Incin just might attack. Like, it might just be a double up into the Venusaur. I could just protect Venusaur and go out into Groudon. I could Snarl protect, or I could just attack with Venusaur outright. I'm gonna go for Snarl, and I could see Lele protecting here and Incin U-turning. So I'm gonna go for the Sleep Powder into Incin. If it fakes out, then that would be really good because I shut it down completely. We are just gonna see Psyshock come out, but that's okay. No protect means I will get the initial Snarl off against Lele, plus putting Incin to sleep would be really nice. The downside here is I'm risking Sleep Powder accuracy, right? I could have just doubled up onto Lele, but I was really worried about Lele protecting and Incin getting a free U-turn off. Sleep Powder does connect, so that's good. So Venusaur protecting here is so obvious. I could switch Evil Toll into Groudon, but if Incin switches out into Kyogre, like Evil Toll will switch out first, so I'll lose the Weather War, and that absolutely screws me over. Do I think the Incin's gonna hard switch into Kyogre? That's the question, basically. Because otherwise, I really do want to switch Evil Toll out, but that just seems way too risky. I feel like I would just lose the game instantly if Groudon was out next to Kyogre, because I don't have safe switches to Water Spout. So I'm going to keep Snarling here and maybe hope that the Lele targets the Evil Toll instead. Oh, okay, looks like it is. Or maybe it's just Moonblasting Venusaur. No, nice. Okay, that's super good for us. Special Tech Drop is unfortunate, but I'll take that. Because that means Venusaur sticks around for a little bit longer, and if Venusaur sticks around, that means even with 1 HP, it's going to outspeed Kyogre or Ludi if the sun is up. That can be really instrumental in this matchup. Okay, so we knock out Lele. That's good, because that's one of the bigger threats to Yveltal. Instant does manage to wake up, though. Gonna go for a U-turn, that's okay. And actually doesn't target the Venusaur either, so that's solid. It did take a lot of damage, though. Obviously, like, a Oblivion Wing there could have been a little bit nicer. But it wouldn't have healed that much anyway. So Kyogre's gonna come out. That's good because I forced the Kyogre to come out. Now I can switch out into Groudon. The question is, do you switch Incin back in, or do you go into something like Ludi or Necrozma? Pretty interesting game so far. I think, yeah, obviously it would have been nicer if I just doubled up onto Lele. But then I would have traded Venusaur for Lele. I'm not sure that's actually a great trade for me. So I think Venusaur could be super good in this matchup. Yeah, whatever comes out here, that's going to be a big decision. The nice thing is, though, Kyogre has been forced to come out. So the thing with Scarf Ogre with this team is when you're playing against Groudon teams, you basically like try to position yourself to a point where you can just click Water Spout and sweep, even if Groudon's switching in. That Snarl will be really, really helpful here. The downside is just I've just taken a lot of damage, and with Instinct coming out, you can just fake me out into the Yveltal slot. But I think I do have a pretty safe option here of just switching Yveltal out hard into Groudon. The question is, does my opponent, like, switching out into Groudon here is so obvious, like, I think the Instinct could switch out to give my opponent better positioning. Because you can fake out Yveltal because of terrain. Or, sorry, despite terrain because it's not grounded. Like, getting even one Snarl off is so instrumental here, but I'm not sure I'd be able to pull it off. Leaning towards hard switching into Groudon and protecting Venusaur. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that. Like, Venusaur sticking around would be really good. So the worst case here is my opponent doubles up with like a Scald Flare Blitz into Groudon. But either way, I get the sun up. And Instinct could U-turn here, right? But at least now I have the weather advantage. Yeah, he didn't go for the fake out, but that makes sense. Just meant I could have gotten a Snarl off if I switched the Venusaur out into Groudon, but Groudon takes out like a champ actually. And we do see the U-turn, yeah, into Groudon. So pretty much the safest play possible for my opponent. Sorry, not the safest play possible. Like, I could have switched Venu into Groudon and gone for a Snarl, which would have put me in a really good spot, I think. Necrozma is my opponent's last one, which makes this really interesting. I took a lot of damage with Groudon. That wasn't the best play, I think. Here is interesting, though. Kyogre, you'd imagine, wants to switch out into the Incineroar. So, I could gamble and go for a Sleep Powder. The other thing is maybe my opponent's like, oh, like, I could just Water Spout here. That's super free. This is really tricky. It's like, the Kyogre switching out is so obvious that I kind of want to just Grass Knot. I think I'm going to switch Groudon out, though. That's just objectively a little bit better. Yeah, like, it's just so risky to attack here. I feel like you kind of have to switch out. So I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder. Yeah, okay. Like, if I were in that position, I would have considered just staying and Water Spouting because, like, I would clearly want to attack around that slot. And I don't mind. I'd rather put the Instant to sleep because now it's guaranteed to not do anything if it connects. Even if I miss, I mean, it's not the worst case. Obviously, hitting would be great. I could have also Sleep Powdered the Necrozma and gone for a Precipice Blades, but if I miss the Sleep Powder, then I'm in a really bad spot because I just lose the Weather War outright. I do miss the Instant, but can't complain too much about that. It's going to be a Z move, actually, from the Necrozma. Steel Z move. It's probably going into Yveltal. Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a Psychic type attack. The original version of this team had Citrus Berry on Necrozma, but Steel's pretty cool to see. Yeah, that's super bad for us. Okay. I think my opponents just play this a little bit better than I have, plus, yeah, seeming like me expecting certain sets and not those sets not being the case. not too great. Like, the biggest turn was the turn I had the option to... Okay, it's still not over by any means, though, so let's see. How do I want to approach this? Go into Coco. Hitting that Sleep Powder would have been so big, honestly, but I can't complain about that because I did hit the first one. And, like, I don't know. With Sleep Powder, it's like, you should be expecting it to miss more of the times. I'm going to go into Coco here, yeah. Downside is now my opponent can fake me out. Yeah, the big turn where I switched Evil Talent to Groudon and my opponent didn't go for the fake out, because I know I could survive a Water Spout from Scarfoger, especially in the sun. So if I got that Snarl off against like Kyogre, and I would have gotten Groudon out. I guess the Necrozma did have the Z move. That Z move actually just makes my life a lot harder, so I guess I could have tried to play around it, but there's not too much I could have really done. Let's see. I can't Sleep Powder anymore. I want to go for the Z move. Like, what does my opponent do here? Yeah, I didn't really think about this turn. That's definitely not the play I wanted to make. I feel like I just end up losing here. Okay, that actually could have worked in my favor, potentially. Yeah, I did want to protect. I ended up going for a Sludge Bomb. If this knocks out the Necrozma, then maybe we actually win. But it needs to knock out Necrozma. Because then I would win the Weather Ward. I'd have Groudon out. Yeah, that was not supposed to be a Sludge Bomb. Into the Ensign. Does that get the knockout? No, it doesn't. Okay. Then I think we lose here. Unless this is a U-turn going into Incineroar. That should have knocked me out, but... Or sorry, a U-turn going into Venusaur. Okay. Then this is still maybe doable. I mean, Necrozma here surely must protect. And Instant just gets a free U-turn off. So I don't think I have any counterplay to that. You just get Kyogre in now for free. Yeah, I think I've lost this. Is there any way out? Getting a double protect with Venusaur, maybe? Thunderbolt. Or my opponent throwing and not protecting the Necrozma. Yeah, I think I've lost this. The Z move was the big thing that I just wasn't expecting, but Necrozma does protect, yeah. I don't think I have any way to win if the Necrozma protects there and you U-turn. Well, actually, Sludge Bomb Thunderbolt might... No, I don't think it would have knocked out Incineroar, but I think it was worth going for. Unless he U-turns the Coco for some reason. I was thinking of doubling... I think it's over now. Just because Coco's been shipped out so much. My opponent played this quite well. I wasn't expecting the Z move, so that was really bad. Like, I was expecting to get an Yveltal switch in for free and just take a Photon Geyser. But instead it was the Steel Z move, which was about the worst case, because then I just lost Yveltal. Yveltal's really good in this matchup for Snarls and everything. And the other big turn was the turn where, yeah, I thought Incin might have risked fake outing against me, but instead he opted to just attack. Is there any way I can win this? No, because Kyogre should just switch out into Incineroar, you sack both, and then you switch Kyogre back in. So I mean, yeah, the only way I would win this right now is if my opponent throws it. And that would entail of Kyogre Water Spouting, I survive, get this Precipice Blades off. I think I still lose regardless, but yeah, you have a guaranteed win if you just switch Kyogre out, which is what my opponent does. So, good game, yeah. The Z move on Necrozma, super strong option, and that makes the Yveltal matchup significantly better, I think. So, that was cool to see, and I didn't really have too much counterplay at that point. I do regret not going for just staying in with Yveltal and switching Groudon out and going for that Snarl. Not sure how much I would have changed things, though, honestly. Interesting that the Groudon is faster than Necrozma. Yeah, I also should have opted to Sludge Bomb Thunderbolt the instant slot, I think. It probably doesn't knock out, but if I get a crit there, then I actually just win the game, I think. Because then Kyogre's forced to come out. I can just switch out into Groudon. It would be close. So, yeah. Tough matchup, for sure. And my opponent played it super, super well. I think the lead would honestly worked out a little bit better than I anticipated. Not having Incineroar, obviously, like, I don't know. It's tough to bring Incin into this matchup because my opponent has Lele. And so I just feel more, like, not very comfortable with that in general. Because I can't Fake Out unless I bring Coco as well. That means I'm forced to drop one thing. I feel like Venusaur is pretty good in this matchup. I think hitting that Sleep Powder honestly may have changed a fair amount of things against the Incin. Because then I wouldn't have to bring Coco. I could potentially get another Sleep Powder off against the Necrozma. But I think, like, you never want to be in a position where you have to rely on Sleep Powder hitting, right? Like, that first one hit, only got a one-turn sleep. That was kind of unfortunate. And, of course, like, that second one just missed. But I think, like, with this team, or with Venusaur, or Sleep Powder in general, or Sleep in general, you never want to be in a position where, like, that's your out. Like, you want to have a more optimal play at that point in the game. So, missing that, obviously, you know, like, if Vincent stayed asleep for 3 turns, or if it hit, like, that could have changed things dramatically, but that's not something, like, I think is the best to analyze. It's better to look at just, like, plays that could have been better. So, yeah, I'm trying to think how things would have played out if I switched out into Groudon and just went for the Snarl. The thing is, like, both Groudon and Yveltal get chunked down significantly. The Incin's U-turning there anyway. Another play I could have made was, instead of going for the Sleep Powder into Incineroar, trying to Sleep Powder the Necrozma and just Precipice Blading that turn. But, I mean, there's so much, right? What I was thinking is if I miss this Sleep Powder, then I'm absolutely screwed, because then you should knock out Groudon. And if I lose Groudon, then I just lose the game, because then I don't have Weather Control, and Kyogre just clicks Water Spout. So, yeah, I felt like the risk versus reward wasn't that great there. We're actually going up against another Kyogre Necrozma team. This one with Tornadus. But everything else more or less the same. No Lele, though, this time around. So, more of a reason to potentially bring in Incineroar. I know Incin Tornadus, like, people really like leading that against this team. Trick Room could actually be a potential option. I don't like Venusaur as much here because of the Tornadus and the Coco. I'm actually thinking of Yveltal Stack Attacko with Groudon and Coco in the back. I mean, once again, it's just like I kind of want to bring in Sim, but it doesn't do as much damage as Coco Groudon. So I'm basically baiting Trick Room immediately with this. Yeah, I don't like Venusaur as much because of Coco, plus the potential taunt from Tornadus. And Incin's okay, it's just like, it's just so weak to Kyogre in terms of damage output. I mean, with the Sun up, sure, like, you can take attacks a little bit better, but then I'd be bringing like 3 Water Weeks, and even with Sun up, like, they still get chunked down a fair amount. So I'm approaching this a little bit differently. I'm not going Yveltal Venu, mainly because of the fear of Tornadus, although I think Yveltal Venu could actually work here as well as a lead. Yeah, I haven't really fleshed out the Necrozma Kyogre matchup as well. Bringing Stack might seem weird, but basically it forces my opponent to, like, prevent the Trick Room, and so because, like, you're directing your attention on the Stack, then Yveltal gets a little bit more freedom in attacking. If my opponent does lead Tornadus and Kyogre, then I have a free opportunity to just Snarl turn 1, and then potentially even switch out into Groudon and Rock Slide turn 2, or just Trick Room. There are a bunch of options. But it's going to be Coco Incin. Okay. It's kind of scary because the Coco has immense pressure right now, and there's Fake Out pressure as well. Like, you have a free opportunity to just Fake Out the Stack Attacka and either Z-move the Yveltal or just Volt Switch into Kyogre. Or even Z-moving into Stack. So, I mean, I could hard switch Yveltal into Groudon and protect Stack Attacka. That would prevent a Volt Switch play. But Incin could U-turn here too. That's the thing with these two. Like, you're playing a guessing game. Yeah, imagine you'd want to Fake Out Stack, but you could also Fake Out Yveltal's Z-move Stack. But I just hate switching in Groudon because of the fact that my opponent could potentially get Kyogre in. But that would involve U-turning Yveltal, which I think is not exactly the most likely play. So I'll switch out into Groudon and protect here. And by switching out into Groudon, I think I would actually prefer to just switch it out again next turn. Because Groudon's easily the most important Pokemon in this matchup. Yeah. The thing with Venusaur is if I like bring it in this matchup, then I can't get Sleep Powders off, and that just diminishes its use significantly. Because that's just one less play I could make. Okay, we do just see a Z move come out. If this goes into Groudon, I'm going to be very happy. But we didn't see a Fake Out come out from Instant, so perhaps it's U-turning Groudon. And if it's U-turning Groudon, that's going to be really bad for us. Okay, so that's going into Stack. But that's fine. I've burned the Z move, which is good. Yeah, I mean, I could see a double up until a Stack here. Yeah, that's so much damage, though, jeez. Okay, U-turn went into Stack Attack. That's good. If it went into Groudon, that would have been really bad news for us. Well, you'd imagine you just want to Thunderbolt the Stack Attacker right now. And maybe U-turn again. Does the Thunderbolt knock me out? I think I'd survive with just a little bit. The issue is that I'm in a really good position to press Blades, but I don't necessarily want to, because I don't want Kyogre to just come in. Ah, this is tricky. I think I should have switched Groudon out, but I'm just going to opt to press Blades Trick Room here. Instant hard switches, though. Into Kyogre, that's really weird. I guess you didn't want to just take a Precipice Blades, but that's a free Precipice Blaze I get off now, and if this Thunderbolt doesn't knock me out, I get Trick Room up, which is amazing. And he's Volt Switching. I should definitely survive that then. Yeah, I wouldn't have survived the Thunderbolt. So we get Trick Room up and a free Precipice Blades, which is super good for us. Even if it's instant coming in, like, that's fine. I will take that for sure. Yeah, that's really good. Because Groudon is the key to winning this game, and now I've got Groudon under Trick Room. I hope this connects. Okay, nice. That's really good for us. That does so much damage. Rock Slide might knock out Incineroar. Yeah, had the U-turn gone into Stack Attack that first, or sorry, into Groudon that first turn, that would have been really, really bad for us. Okay, I'm going to switch Groudon out into Yveltal here for sure. I think I'm actually just going to opt to Rock Slide here. If Instant doesn't fake out the Stack Attacka, then maybe it's better to protect Stack there. The logic is if Instant fakes out the Groudon, then I get a free Rock Slide off, but I think like you pretty much always have to fake out Stack Attacka here because Groudon's always switching out. But the thing is, I also want Stack Attacka to go down, so I get a free switch him back into Groudon. So it's not necessarily the worst if it does feint here. And if for some reason my opponent doesn't fake out, then I just knock out the Instant with the Rock Slide. Fake out into Yveltal. Okay, that works. Wow. Does this knock out Instant? I feel like it should. Ooh, it doesn't. Oh, I've been intimidated twice at this point, yeah. That's kind of annoying. It actually procs the berry, but that's okay. I actually don't want Kyogre to flinch here, and I wanted to knock out the Stack. Okay, good. So Stack goes down, but Water Spout's damage is obviously heavily reduced already. We know it's probably Scarfed, so we know we can target that slot relatively free. Yeah, the downside is Incineroar does get a potential really big attack off, like a Flare Blitz, but I think I'm just gonna Precipice Blades, and I wonder who my opponent's last one is. I could also Swords Dance with Groudon, but I'd rather just put on the pressure with damage right now. Precipice Blades. Kyogre definitely should be switching out here. The only thing that can't really take Precipice Blades is the Tornadus or not the Serena, the Lurantis. So yeah, I'm just gonna Precipice Blades and Oblivion wing the Kyogre slot. Instant switches out, which is a good play because you do want to conserve it, but it's Necrozma as the last one, so my opponent doesn't have any ground resist, which is really good for us. Double switch, that's fine. That's probably the best possible play from my opponent, though. I like that a lot. I really needed to hit that, I think. It's not great to see. That's really bad. Because my opponent conserved the instant, now you can cycle in for potential fake outs more and intimidate. That's unfortunate. Okay, how many turns of Trick Room we have left? 2. I want to Precipice Blades here. I'm just worried because the Necrozma might be able to survive one. I don't know how fast it is either. I could Sucker Punch it, but it might have a berry. It's gonna be a berry or Z move. I'm gonna Sucker Punch because if it's Z berry, then I'm not taking that much damage. I'm gonna Sucker Punch Precipice Blades here. Missing that Coco sucks though, but Coco is gonna swap out. Probably back out into Instant, yeah. I'm okay with that, especially if the Necrozma just decides to attack and I just get this double up into it. Okay, so it's going for Trick Room, it looks like. Oh, really? And it's got the bulky berry too. Well, that play works out for me if I hit the Incineroar, because even if you reverse Trick Room, like, that doesn't really matter too much to me. But missing there definitely sucks. But, I mean, I'm using a team with Precipice Blades, so it's not like I can, you know, complain that much. That does kind of blow, though, I won't lie. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Instant's probably going to want to fake out here. I'm going to go for a foul play into the Necrozma and just Precipice Blades. Because if Instant doesn't fake out... Like, I don't want Instant to get a Flare Blitz off against me, basically. Necrozma opts to protect, okay. I really hope I hit this. I don't know if I knock out, though. That's the thing. It's going to be close. I do hit it. And we get a knockout. Nice. Okay, that's good. We're still in this. Oh, we crit that, actually. That might have mattered, but I feel like that kind of makes up for missing both of them earlier. So, right now the thing is, like, Kyogre is pretty heavily damaged. So I can just Snarl here. But you definitely double up into Kyogre right now. Or sorry, into Yveltal. Yeah, I'm definitely snarling. I think I have to swap out Groudon still. Which kind of sucks. Yeah, I basically lost a turn of Trick Room, plus gave my, like, not getting the instant on the switch in was kind of bad. But like I said, that might have been a roll, so I shouldn't be complaining that much. Plus, once again, I'm using Precipice Blade, so, like, that's kind of what you have to accept. That's the reality of using a move like that. I mean, I'm pretty much forced to swap out Groudon here. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. It's going to be a close finish, honestly, but this turn, the outcome of this turn is going to be really big. Necrozma switches out, okay. I like that switch on my opponent's end. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, it's not Scarf Ogre! Whoa, that changes this game dramatically, because now my Coco... Oh, I mean, this could be a Z going into the Coco slot. No, he's just Thundering. Interesting. I think I should win now because he's not Scarfed. Oh, of course he can't Z either. The Coco Z'd earlier. Paralysis kind of sucks there, though. But now I think Coco just wins me the game, so I don't even need to win the Weather War anymore. I'm just going to opt to Snarl and Protect. Do I even need to Protect? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm just going to Thunderbolt Kyogre. Yeah, I was playing this game the whole time assuming Kyogre was Scarf, but because it's not, now my Coco should outspeed everything. Okay. And my opponent's Coco shouldn't have a way to really hit me for too hard. He's just going to Thunder me, that's fine. Because now I just bring out Groudon and I just click Precipice Blades. Okay, it goes into the Coco slot actually, but that's fine. Ah. This game does not want me to win right now. That's fine. I think it's better to just Snarl and Protect here. I don't want... I mean, yeah, I mean, 2 Thunders isn't even knocking me out right now, so I think we're good. I want to give up Yveltal here because I want the free switch into Groudon. Okay, that's fine. It's gonna Thunder the Coco slot. Okay, so I get another Snarl off, which is good. Good. Okay. Yeah, that should seal us the game, I think. Because now what I can do is, I mean, I'm just whittling down the Coco slot. I'm gonna Thunderbolt Necrozma. Yep, Thunderbolt Necrozma. And just Snarl. I lose to, I mean, Necrozma protected, so I lose to a double protect crit onto a Coco. But he doesn't get the double, so that's good. Even if he crits me now, I should win because I won the Weather War. Plus, I can just Sucker Punch Precipice Blades. I think we're good here. He's actually gonna Volt Switch. Okay. That doesn't even knock me out. Dang. I like that play on my opponent's end, though. But now I just win the Weather War, which is really good. Yeah, I can't believe it wasn't Scarf Ogre. The whole time I was playing, assuming it was. Voltol's paralyzed, of course. But I think that's okay. Now I can just switch out into Groudon. And Groudon should win this game now. Yeah. Gonna switch out into Groudon. And I'm just gonna Z-move the Kyogre. Like, my opponent can't really win this anymore because... I mean, I guess if Kyogre protects, has the berry, and my opponent crits the Thunder against my Coco. But then it's like, how do you beat the Groudon? Because I just click Precipice Blades, I should knock out both. And he doesn't protect Kyogre, so yeah, we win. That was pretty intense though, jeez. Like, RNG definitely wasn't going our way. We missed a bunch of Precipice Blades. But the crit on Instant maybe changed things. Not sure what the damage roll on that was. But yeah, pretty interesting to see how this game played out relative to the last one, because that last one had 3 of the same 4 mons, but played out very differently. But I think that last one's like Lele put on a lot of pressure. I brought Venusaur, obviously. And in this game, I opted not to. Yeah, it's just going to Thunder me. Good. Yeah, that last game, I could have played a lot better. Plus, I just wasn't expecting Z-move Necrozma. And then this one, I opted for the Stack Attack option instead. My opponent gave me... Like, once I got the Trick Room up, I had a really good chance of winning this game. So I was surprising to see the Volt Switch on the Stack Attack. Maybe just expecting it to get the knockout. But the fact I survived, the fact that I got Trick Room up and was able to sweep with Groudon was really big. So I don't know if I really like how I played this game, because if the Stack Attack just goes down into a Thunderbolt there, then I'm in a really bad spot, I think. But because I was able to get Trick Room, I ended up winning this one. In that last game, yeah, like Stack Attack, in that first matchup actually could have made some sense as well. But you have to worry about Taunt from Lele, plus obviously Kyogre still puts on pressure, and Necrozma can reverse it as well. I just think I could have played that first game a lot better. I don't know, I felt like I had an okay position, especially after having Venusaur out survive and trading it for the Lele. But then I kind of just gave up a lot of momentum, and my opponent positioned really well with Kyogre and Necrozma. So no surprise to see that first opponent ranked as high as he or she was. And that's going to be it for this one. Some longer games, some pretty interesting matchups. Didn't think I'd go against 2 Kyogre Necrozma teams. An Archetype let definitely made a huge impact very early on. Seems like not too many people are using it, but definitely still very strong. And can definitely have the power of winning like major events. But yeah, we didn't really see too much of it over at Dallas Regionals. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Like I mentioned, I'll be probably switching to a brand new team in the next episode. So let me know what you guys want to see in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. All right, peace.